It's the SMCI celebratory show. For all those of you who have been watching this show and held on to all shares of SMCI, good for you.
Yeah.
I sold most of mine beginning at 400, then at 470, then at 490 something. I still have some shares, but I wish I could do an undo on the sales.
Right.
If I had one
I wish
undo,
I could do a lot of undos. Can we do an undo? Can you give us like maybe one
Yeah.
one
one pass
undo.
a year or
Well,
something?
all right,
I want to undo all
I'll
that.
give you one undo for the month of January. What would it be?
Oh my God!
One,
Probably
just one.
MicroStrategy. I would have waited, not bought it last December.
So your timing on MicroStrategy was off.
Correct.
What about you, Spike?
Yeah.
One undo. One undo.
One undo. Like I said, I want to undo all the bailing I did out of nvda last summer.
Okay, but I meant this month. But
For this one, I have no regrets so far. Although I did trim too much on SCMI.
Same thing for me. My regret is trimming on SMCI. Yeah. Andrew's here to congratulate us on SMCI. It was an amazing call considering it was like 250 or so when we called it.
Right.
Curtis is with us. We've had some amazing calls. I mean, not truly amazing, big names like IBM. We've had some really nice calls, but the timing.
We also called IWM up from 180 to 200.
Right.
That's not nothing.
No, it's and I think it's going to 240, so that's another 20%.
Wow. All right.
Professor Omar says tight stops. Tighten your stops.
Tighten your stops.
Professor Omar is smelling.
Just move everything up, move up your floors.
Yeah, he's smelling a rat.
Hey, Pete's here.
Hey, the first time in a long time for Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, Pete. I hope you're cashing in on some of those Mag 7s. The thing is, this week is earnings week for like all of them. I'm most concerned about Amazon because I have the most in it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to take a hedge out on some puts.
Well, you said you wrote some calls, right?
I wrote some calls, so that's a hedge. I
Right.
wrote the 165s, that's a hedge. And now I'm thinking of hedging further with some puts. The puts are reasonable price. I'm just going to hedge just in case it's a disaster.
What are you going to do? You're going to set them high?
I'm going to hedge for 10 points out of the money.
Okay.
Just in case something really goes wrong.
I don't cost you quite a bit.
Everything is telling me that it's going to go higher and beat on earnings, but yet I'm still going to hedge. I just don't want to take a chance. I have an awful lot of money, lot of money.
In a way, if you go way out of the money on a put like that,
it's not going to be much. Pennies. It's going to be pennies.
Okay. All right.
10 points out of the money's. I mean, I didn't look, but I'm sure it's cheap. I mean, and I don't know if it's cheap, relatively speaking, but it's not much money to hedge. And I expect to lose that money. It's just
putting a curb. Well, you already with the. Okay, I got you.
I expect to lose that money. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, which is something I've been shouting at the top of my lungs. I called it exact. I said, despite all the analysts who said this time it's different and won't be a sell the news event, said it was going to be a sell the news event.
Right.
When the ETFs were approved. And I was right. I've been averaging down into those ETFs. Pete wants us to look at the miner. Wolf.
Right. And Curtis wants ARDX, which is one of used to be one of
ARDX, we'll look at that.
Yeah.
ARDX has been a great winner for
Curtis. Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
We were in it a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
So I really would like you to take a look at Amazon today. I think it hit a new 52-week high.
Yes, it did. 162.
All right.
161.29.
Yeah. And we'll look at SMCI. We'll look at AMD, which has earnings tomorrow as well.
Right.
And we'll look at whatever I wrote. I don't know.
You wrote Intel, Sava. The usual suspects.
Yeah, the usual suspects. Sava, I'm thinking it's gonna be a winner.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
I've been playing my strategy of averaging down on the bad news.
I think it actually works, and I think that the side effects are minimal. I think eventually that's going to be pay dirt.
Maybe that one and then Novus.
And Novus is less likely, but possible. That's just my gut talking, not the charts. All right, let's take a look at the charts. So maybe my gut is wrong. Maybe I'll have a different perspective from the charts. The charts often make me change my thinking. All right, charts. So we all have an undo that we wish we could take back, huh?
You should give us an undo like once a year.
Well, once a year.
A mulligan.
Mulligan, yeah. So the close was really nice. The S&P was sluggish, flat. Remember in the morning?
Yeah, it was.
Closed up 0.75%. That's a nice move. And the Dow trailed, but up 0.6, and NASDAQ over 1%. And the best of them all was your IWM, 1.67% up today. So you're happy about that, right, Spike?
Yeah, I trimmed last time up here. I don't know if I'm going to do it again.
No, let it ride. I think you cash it in at 240.
Cash it 240. You got it.
Yeah. Walmart was up a little bit.
Curtis points out that XPI is up good too today.
XPI, I think, is back to 90 again. I think. What do you want to start with? SPY?
Might as well.
Now, Professor Omar is warning to tighten those stops below, make sure you have those stops working. So I might
those stops. He means make sure they're there. I
might just listen, but if you take a 10% stop underneath the SPY, you're looking at 440, right? 10%.
Right.
That's about where I would put it. I do own SPY, and do I really want to sell it if it hits 450? Probably. I mean, what would be the implication if it goes below 466? I might be tempted to sell it. That's a very key support level. So at least a trim. Of course, you have the 50-day moving average just before that. So you have a lot of support at that 466 area. And who's thinking about market going down now other than Professor Omar? Everybody says it's up. There's no stopping this market and so on, which is probably the time to worry.
Exactly.
It is, because many of them are hitting all-time high. So it's risk.
Every one of them
buy at all-time high.
Microsoft hit an all-time high today. Meta all-time high today.
Right. So the point is, who would want to buy them at all-time high?
Yeah, well,
Well, you know they say buy high and sell higher.
how about all those that have been salivating to waiting for them to go down? They might give up and buy them a
Right.
high.
Capitulate on the
And
upside.
that's when they're gonna get caught.
Fear of missing out, FOMO, right? There's a lot of
Yes.
FOMO around. And FOMO could, people buy. When do you think people buy? Most people buy at all-time highs.
I mean, there are trades that happen. Their houses and get to an all-time high.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to press the buy button at that bid.
yeah.
You gotta read that. You gotta read Pete's comment.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trend line on SPY. What a gorgeous trend line. I
Pete want
don't
to do
think.
undo an ATHX.
What are you doing?
Pete wants to do an undo on Athos.
Yeah, he wants to do a long-term undo on ATHX. I think all of us do.
Oh,
Yes.
BCRX, you said?
No, ATHX. It's a lifetime undo for
Athos. You don't remember
Oh,
Athos?
Athesis. I'd like to do that as well.
Pete took it out of his
If I go back a few years earlier, I want an undo on Geron.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's your big one. That's your white whale.
That's my big loss, biggest loss I have ever taken. Is Geron. But thank goodness I'm making that 5% a month lately for the last year or so. So pretty happy. I'm actually doing quite well. Can't complain. The Mag 7 has been beautiful, been behaving beautifully. I actually think SPY, when it does come down, is just going to come down to the lower trend line. I don't see more than, I said this last show, 3 to 5% pullbacks. That's about it. I told Professor Omar I disagree with his call. We'll see who's right. I say we're going almost straight up to 530 or 550.
Pretty bold.
Higher. We're going higher. In other words, I think we stay in this channel. We move within the channel, and that's taking us higher. Even when we go down, it's going to go down 3 to 5%. It'll be buying opportunity. That's how I see it. I'm very, very bullish. I've been bullish for a long time. I'm staying bullish. I'm not ready to give up the reins of the bull. I want to dance with the bulls. Where did I dance with the bulls? In Spain?
Well, they run with them.
Don't they? Don't they dance?
They run with the bill.
They
Well,
run.
they
They
try to
run.
run ahead of them as much as possible.
They run with the bulls, right?
Yes, Pamplona.
I can't run anymore. Maybe I can dance.
You can just stay in one of the hotel rooms looking down.
I might be able to dance. All right, so SPY. I think short term, look for any pullback would take you down to 482 on the short term, maybe a little bit higher, 483. And if we get one, if the earnings are not spectacular, it'll probably come down to either 483 or 477. That would be the downside here, downside risk. I mean, you have earnings of I think 5 of the Magnificent Seven. So this is a big week for earnings, and as they go, so go to market. The effect of the Mag 7 on the S&P is vast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vast. So from a technical point of view, you got to look at how the earnings come in for the Mag 7. And they better meet expectations, because if they don't, they're going to be punished. That's why I'm looking to protect. They also have very large Google and Apple positions, very large. Not as large as my Amazon, but I might do a little protection there as well. Meta and Microsoft, I don't own quite as much, so probably let them ride. And nvda, I don't own. Nvidia, I'm not touching ever. I mean, I'm scared to sell that one.
Right.
Not touching it. All right, so bullish. General sentiment bullish. Target 530 to 550. When we do get a big pullback, I think it could be very big, but I don't think it's going to happen for a while. I'll let you know when I change my mind. Professor Omar is working on me, but I haven't changed my mind. Let's see Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on the run again. Look at how it stopped at the 100. Found perfect support at the 100. And the 50 doesn't look like it's holding it. Closed above the 50. I see a retest of the 49,000 mark coming up for Bitcoin. I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think it's going to go way past that, but we get a retest first. Maybe it comes down. But look for a continuation of the rallies. As far as I can see, it's first building momentum. Bitcoin on the run. A lot of investors were shaken out down here, so it's got a clear run now. I think I'm making money on IBIT, making money on MicroStrategy. I did get shaken out myself from Riot and what's the other one? What's the other miner I got out of? Riot and
Mara.
Mara, thank you. I got out of Mara. Let's take a look at Wolf for Pete. Wolf is another miner. Nice. This was a nice, sharp U-turn it made, wasn't it? Now it's even got a parabolic look to it now, exponential look. It's going up with the rest of them. 244 should be retested easy. Bitcoin continues on up like I think. Then probably the top will be tested at 316. But first things first. So that implies this area at 246. That's where the first real test comes in for Wolf. And do I like Wolf better than Mara? I don't know. I'll have to take a look at Mara. So I'm looking at an implied move to 246 of 58 cents. 60 cents would be about 33%, right? I'm looking at a 33% move, I think, in the next week on Wolf. But if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do. And then also Mara. Mara looks a little bit like Wolf, but yeah, very much like Wolf. And Mara, Mara could totally reverse the sell-off to $29. It doesn't look like there's much resistance in this chart. The only resistance, perhaps, is this low, which was $20.39. So I'll draw that in. I got to click on that horizontal bar. Please don't give me a hard time with the lines.
It's right there.
So that would be the first area, the only area of real resistance, $20.39. We close with a green candle above this candle at $22, and I think it's all the way up to 30. So watch Mara for a move to $22, and above that to 30. Just like Wolf, this chart looks extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. I'm repeating myself like Donald Trump, you know. Does he repeat himself so that to convince others or to convince himself?
Well, the whole
I think
idea is
both.
that if you repeat it enough, people think it's true.
Ah, I believe my own bullshit. So
Oh, you do?
yeah, it's the same
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
Same idea. I believe my own bullshit. Because most of the time I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. Look, I'm only human. What else did I have listed? All the Mag 7? No, I don't remember.
Well, let's see. We have Spider Bitcoin. You might as well look at SMCI if you want.
SMCI, I just want to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly
Even
right.
though I don't have much of it left, I'm still happy to see it move up. I got to get rid of. How do I get rid of these lines?
The drawings right there.
Where's the undraw?
If you click on that pencil,
Yeah, and then there's an undraw somewhere
right?
down here.
Hang on a sec.
I got rid of it. Super micro to move after hours. Look at this, for like 46 points to 542.
People are just riding the wave, in my opinion.
Like just finding their way in, you think?
Yeah, they're just riding the wave until it crashes.
Oh, you're just riding the wave. I got you.
This is not crashing so fast. This might be like a never sell. I learned it the hard way because I sold. Maybe it's a never sell. Let's put that 550 line in. 546.12. Wow. I mean, it jumped 10% after hours. That's pretty good considering look where it came from. It wasn't too long ago
I mean,
that
what
it was.
justifies those moves? I mean, that's those are crazy moves.
They are crazy moves. But they almost have a monopoly in selling to the data centers. They're selling the NVIDIA chips. They're an NVIDIA proxy. This is like owning NVIDIA with a less of a multiple, with less of a PE multiple. It's still relatively cheap, I think. The PE going forward, I think before the move up was like 25. So and now I don't know what it is now, but I don't know what to say on this one. I'm not selling what I got left. I'm just keeping it. I don't care. Whatever I got left, I'm keeping because I think even if it comes back down to 495, it'll close the year at 600 anyway. So I'm keeping my shares, the ones that I didn't sell. That's just my opinion. Our opinions are strictly what? Our own, not investment advice, right? But never investment advice.
Yeah.
And check with an advisor before acting because the advisors, they know. Got to go to somebody that knows. It has a shingle that says that they know.
Right.
The only shingle I have is
It's growing on your back.
it's the one on a stick, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so Amazon.
Toast for your chip beef. Sure. Like I said, you listed. What else did you list? You listed AMD, Nvidia, the usual suspects.
NVIDIA, I mean, I could try to figure out a price target on it, but why bother? It's
Yeah, no,
going.
exactly. It's just going and going.
I could look at a Fibonacci whatever and try to give you a target, but up. The target is whatever you want it to be, 700, 750. I'm serious because in time it'll hit whatever target you say. 1,000. You got enough time, it's going to get there.
Right.
So I'm not going to bother giving a target. INTC, I got rid of it. I took a quick loss, but it was a small loss, so I'm not. I mean, it wasn't that small a loss, but I'm not going to cry over it. I bought it before earnings and got rid of it down here somewhere. 40 around $45, I got rid of it. Bought it around 50. So I lost 5 points.
I know. And I happened to step in right around here. Well, to average my, I told myself I would support my position around 43, 44. So I'm doing that.
The thing is, Intel is a long-term turnaround story. You may have to hold this for 10 years. Not
I mean, it's right. It's the right, I guess it's the slow moving one, right? It's like the brick and mortar.
Yeah, it's one that you're not going to lose on in the long run, probably. But it's not so exciting because they're not in a position yet to compete with NVIDIA and AMD. It's funny, AMD is second to NVIDIA and for for the AI chips, GPUs, and they were second to Intel all these years
Right, exactly.
for the PC chips, for the CPU chips. So they're number 2, but they're doing great, AMD. Let's take a look at AMD. So my call on Intel is hold, but I sold, but yet I'm saying hold. If you have a long time horizon, I think it's a hold. But I just didn't feel like I want to keep it forever. There's livelier stuff to go into it. So that's the way I looked at it. AMD earnings tomorrow. I think I'm tired of playing the earnings game, but probably will beat. Just like not as much as you're not going to see a jump like you see. I don't think you'll see 10% like on SMCI, but I think you'll see it move up, maybe 5% more. That would be a $9-10 move maybe to 188. So what was the high up here? A couple of days ago, Thursday of last week, it was 184.92. I think on good earnings we go slightly above that. I'm going to draw it in where I think it's likely to be after by tomorrow at the close. I got to remember to draw it above.
Right, you have to put it in and then move it.
Yeah, that's what I got to do. Right up there. I think it takes out the all-time high. I think we take it out tomorrow. On bad earnings, then we're probably we shed a lot. We could shed there. We could shed 10%. I think 5% up. 10% is possible on the downside to like 160. But I think much more likely it'll be up. So I could draw it a 160 in, but all right, this would be the downside. Right about in here.
At the top of the green candle.
Yeah, right about in here. Somewhere right about in here.
Okay.
162. So 162 if earnings miss, and 187 if earnings beat on AMD for tomorrow. And again, I think it's 2-1 favorite that it beats as opposed to misses. And
So it's a fair bet then.
what was there? IBM? I think I wrote. Did I?
You did.
We chart this almost all the time lately. I mean, it gave back a little off the top, but I think you continue to buy. If you've been listening to the show and you've been buying in, I think you continue to do that. Don't. I'm not selling any. Put it that way. Even if it comes back down to fill the gap, I'll be a buyer.
Yeah, no, I'm looking to get back in a little bit. So
I'll just.
I trimmed right around here just a little bit. I don't want. I'm still pounding the table for this stock.
I won't like it if it fills the gap at 174, but I will keep the stock and I will buy more. So I'm a believer on IBM. I think it's heading for over $200 by the end of this year. IBM.
You want to do CRISPR for Pete,
Sure.
and then
CRISPR Vertex has the sickle cell drug and the beta thalassemia drug approved, right?
Yep.
And today was a nice move up for CRISPR. It's an engulfing candle, or very close. I may not be perfectly engulfing. I think the body might not be not quite engulfed, but the thing is, it's got to break out of this trading range. You can see the trading range. It's very clear. The trading range is horizontal trading range is clearly defined. So let's take a look at it. Oops. Oh, come on. It's like I feel like a painter. I keep going back to the palette, you know. All right, so there's the horizontal trading range, 67 to 58, 59, whatever it is. It's got to break through, otherwise it's just going to yo-yo around, you know. But now it looks like it's yo-yoing around. I want the proof. I want to see the break of 67.08. I want to see a close above, and I want to see a new trading range established. Right now, for all intensive purposes, right now, I'm not getting excited. It's all I can say is it's at the high end of the trading range, and that often implies short to short. I wouldn't be shorting anything though, but there are traders who take this candle as meaning, oh, time to short, or a little bit higher. I'm not that kind of trader. I don't like to short. Period. Other than as a hedge with some puts, I'm not a short trader.
now if you compare that with Edit, you'll see that there's two different stories going on.
Editas,
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know.
I don't know which one the long-term trend the long-term trend is.
Oh, geez, this one is going to
Yeah,
go.
because at the point of inflection, Sava kept that little trading range, but this one just bailed from it.
It wants to fill this gap right in here. It's going to fill this gap.
Which gap?
On the candle I'm at, $7.03. I'll put it in.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Oh, that gap. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to fill this gap.
Would you go back in after that?
Yeah, that would be a place to nibble. Actually, it did fill that gap.
Right. It's at your nibble sign now almost.
695. So maybe if you want to take a chance with Edit, you know, there's always BioDrek. There's always the chance of a takeover. I know they're behind most of the other gene editing plays in terms of timelines. I don't know what else they got in the hopper besides the sickle cell and beta thalassemia. Which,
No, who Edit?
all of them seem to have that.
Yeah, Edit had something different.
Something different, yeah. But
Right.
they're probably years away, and you're hoping for a buyout because they own all the intellectual property.
Right.
ton of patents.
They're better positioned than CRISPR in that way, I think.
Yeah, that's true. They do own. They own. I mean, they can work out a lot of royalty deals, I suppose. It might be a good long-term play. It probably is a good long-term play at this price. I don't know what else I wrote.
What else did you write?
Take a quick look at Amazon. Today, it hit an all-time.
You just want to feel good, right? This is a feel-good look.
Where
You're going to end on a high note.
Yeah. Look, I feel very good about it too. I mean, nice to see green in my portfolio on the Amazon. This is a 52-week high, but not an all-time high. All-time high, I think, is about 180, close to it.
Yeah, if you do the 5-year chart,
you want me to work, putting me to work.
Yeah, do you see that line you drew there? I think like 177.
173.41. Yeah.
A little higher. If you, I think if you do 177.50, it hits multiple.
Well, up here, this is the all-time high, and that's 188. You're saying maybe this high.
177.50. My analysis, I mean, that's what it shows.
177.50.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty reasonable trend.
You see how many it hit multiple candles.
1, 2, 3, at least 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an area of resistance, 177. It gets past that, we're going to make new all-time highs.
Yeah.
I think we will probably make new all-time highs, and probably I needn't bother covering my ass on the downside on Friday, whatever it is, Thursday. I don't remember when the earnings are. It's like earnings every day from the Mag 7. And this will probably wind up being a record-breaking week to the upside. It started out great, and I think it'll continue. Earnings will be good. AI, you got to count the times. Zuckerberg says AI, and
right,
so on. Count the number of AIs.
Do you want to take a quick look at MicroStrategy?
MicroStrategy, yeah. MicroStrategy, I own it for a long time. I'm heavily in the green. And my friend Kamal is going to be in the green soon.
Yes, 3 months. Let's take a look at 3 months.
3 months.
So 3 nice candles, and I see the 200 is.
You got the 50 right here. It's the
Oh,
50. The 50 is at 546. That looks like a little resistance.
Correct. That's what I thought it was the 200. That's
It should fill this gap, right? It'll close the gap almost for sure. The gap being 536.18.
Yeah. So the momentum is upward.
It sure is, as it is with Bitcoin.
It's getting sucked into that gap.
Yep. Yep. There it is, 536.18. Notice how it's precisely the gap, the close to the gap.
Correct.
And it coincides with the high of 11:02.23, which was 5:35.21. Very close.
Yeah. It's like a magnet going up there.
Yeah. Bitcoin is. Professor almost still says 9,000. I say 120, between 80,000 and 120,000 by the end of the year for Bitcoin. For MicroStrategy, maybe 900 to 1,000. Very possible. If Professor Omar's right, it'll be 100 MicroStrategy. So let's hope he's wrong. Bitcoin is extremely volatile, no doubt, but it's got a lot going for it. The ETFs have just begun, so to speak. The halving hasn't happened yet. It's got a lot of fundamental strength. And it's a safe haven play, and it's also a risk on play. It's everything rolled into one. The complete package, Bitcoin.
Right. Is it a gum or a candy?
It's whatever you want it to be. That's the
Right.
beautiful thing. It's whatever you want it to be. Bitcoin miners, we did them already, Ken. We did.
Yeah, just roll back the tape. You'll be good.
Yeah, we did Mara, we did Wolf, and Pete wanted to know about CRISPR. We did that. We didn't do this for Curtis.
I will take care of that. We can take care of that on Thursday, maybe.
Akba, all right. If it may, well,
Actually, it made a lot of its money already.
I think Curtis is giving us an information item.
I think so too, because it had three nice. I was looking at three nice candles.
What is this short for? Is this short for Akiba Therapeutics?
Yes.
Akiba.
Mm-hmm.
Akiba is from the Bible, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well.
All right. That's it.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes.
Was a good show today. Positive,
was.
green,
We ended up
bullish.
When do we ever have a bad show? We never have a bad show. All we do is
We'll
give
also do Sava PR.
we give people, we infuse wisdom into our viewers. We never have a bad show.
Well, we get them to thinking.
Sometimes Dr.J does an impersonation of Trump and Biden where they act a little senile, but you know, I'm not a youngster.
Well, you're a youngster compared to them two.
I am younger than them two.
Yes.
I got them. I'm a youngster.
You're a baby.
Pete, come more often. We miss.
Yeah, Pete, we miss you.
PR.
He'll come more often if you give him the
Sava. Let me just say this: Sava, I think, is going to be the biggest biotech winner in the last 10 years, potentially. So, of course, I had to add that doggone word potentially. But
right.
I really think it has that kind of potential. Hasta luego. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Good night.
Good night.